on, everybody? I'm sorry I've been missing for a little while here. I haven't really had anything to do videos on. I kind of just did a lot of maintenance on the Subaru and everything. I'm going to make a separate video as to where the Impreza stands. I did do a lot of stuff to it, but it wasn't really worth recording it. It was kind of just like maintenance stuff, like motor mounts and stuff, so I didn't record it. Plus the motor mounts were not easy to do on this car, and I had enough of a headache just doing them. So today though, I want to do a test. So these cars you can't do, well, I shouldn't say you can, but you shouldn't do a cold air intake on them. Something about the mass airflow table gets really screwed up. So even if you tune for it, it only gets screwed up in the first half of the RPM range, so like up to like 2,000 RPMs, from like idle to 2,000. So when you adjust down low, it actually adjusts up top, and it's just a really big headache, something that I don't want to deal with for a daily driver. I also don't want to tune this car because it's a daily driver, so I want, like, you know, my gas mileage and everything. I know you could possibly make it better with a tune, but I don't want to go through all that. These cars aren't easy to tune. A lot of people don't offer tuning for them. If you have like a WRX, obviously you can tune it with Cobb or whatever, but you can't do that with the NA motors, like the 2.5i, which is what I have. So today though, I did read up a little bit, and you can't do a full cold air intake, but you can do, it's called a hybrid intake. So pretty much what we're going to do is everything before the mass airflow we're going to leave alone, so the mass airflow table stays exactly the same. And then from the back half we're going to delete, you know, I'll show you guys what's all there, but there's a lot of junk that's there, so we're going to be deleting all of that. And it's supposed to free up a lot of like flow. It actually almost flows just as good as a cold air intake. So these cars from the factory, they have a pretty good intake system, but besides the back half is really restrictive. It has like a torque box and all this just junk. It usually falls on its face around 4,000 RPMs, which is what I feel when I drive. But you know, we'll see what we can do. I'm just gonna go to like Pep Boys and buy like universal like intake tubing that like bolts together. I don't want to go anything crazy with it. Like I said, it's a daily driver. I'm not like trying to make it a race car or anything, but it would be cool to have a little bit more like intake noise, and you know, eventually I'll do an exhaust on it. But yeah, so other than that, we're gonna do a test. If you guys seen the one of my Jeep after I did the gears, I did a test with how much the gears improve my acceleration. So my head unit is almost like a draggy, if you guys know what that is. It's like this little like GPS box that registers your 0 to 60, quarter mile times, and everything like that. Now I know this car is not fast, so don't hate. I know it's gonna probably take a while to hit 60 miles an hour. It's non-turbo, it's a 2.5i, so but I'm just curious to see if before we do it, we run a 0 to 60 test. I'm not going to do quarter mile or anything like that. I don't want to go get any speeding tickets or anything. You know, my license is getting clean, so I definitely don't want any issues. But I'm going to do like a 0 to 60 test on the highway, and we'll see what the baseline times is. This car's 100% bone stock. There's no modifications done to it. The only thing that I have is I'm running premium gas, which I just run on every car that I own. But other than that, stock. And we're going to see just how much that intake tube will improve. You know, if it improves 0.4 of a second, that's 0.4 of a second. You know, when you're merging onto traffic, that's 0.4 of a second. So, you know, we'll see what it improves. I don't know if it's going to be that much, but we'll see. If anything, at the very least, it'll make cool noises, and that'll be cool. So it'll be worth it. And it's only going to cost me like $100, so it's what it is. But let me get to the store, grab the parts we need, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys what's under the hood and everything, and we'll get to work. Alright guys, so if you haven't seen the one of the Jeep, this is the Eon 10.1 touchscreen tablet radio. This has torque on it. So torque is actually using my GPS antenna right here to register all of this. So it is accurate, just like the draggy would be. You go to real-time information, and then right here is our 0 to 60 time, quarter mile time, and so on. So all we're really worried about is this 0 to 60 mile per hour, because I just want to see if we can improve on it. So right now the car has a stock intake, no hybrid intake, no nothing. The only thing this car has is premium gas and a drop-in K&N air filter, and that is it. So we're going to test this, and we're going to see what it does, and hopefully we can improve upon it. All right guys, here we go. Alright, so we're gonna be getting rid of this ginormous box and whatever this is. So we're gonna be replacing it with that right there. So as you can tell, you know, air's gotta come in here. It's gotta go in that box. So let me get all this removed out of the way and we're gonna try to see how this fits. Our goal is to get it to attach right to here. So see what happens. I do have a coupler for that guy right there. And yeah, so let's see how it fits. All right guys, so everything's hooked up. So here's the pipe, all the tubing. Those are the nipples where the PCV goes. This one goes to there. The one on the passenger side valve cover goes down at the bottom there and then up. I tied them up all the way, like with zip ties and stuff. Same thing on the driver's side. So I think we're ready for our first startup here. I still do need to disconnect the battery and let it sit for a little bit, but other than that, everything's hooked up and we're about to test this thing out. All right, so the car runs as if nothing happened, so okay. But it does make a little bit more noise when you rev it. I haven't went for a drive yet. I'm about to right now. I'm gonna make sure everything's good, like make sure it drives good. And then we're gonna do another test, see if the 0 to 60 improved at all, which I'm very curious to see if it did. Online they said it would, so I'm gonna put that myth to test here. But regardless, I'm gonna leave it regardless because it looks a lot better than that giant box. So this way I don't have to deal with that in my way when I work and stuff, and just makes it way more simpler. So yeah, but let's test it and let's find out what it does. Okay, so I don't want to be one of them guys, but the throttle response definitely feels better. As far as like my butt dyno goes, I can't really tell you if it's faster or not, which is why we need to test it with my torque app, but it definitely feels better. The intake's definitely way louder, so that's a good thing because that's kind of what I was after, just so I have some type of sound coming in here, because can't really afford an exhaust right now. They're kind of expensive for this thing. You don't want to do just the catback because then it's going to sound like a fart can, but if you do like an unequal length header and everything, they sound really good. So that's what I'm going to do eventually. But as for right now, the intake, I'm pretty happy with it. Car runs great. I don't have no check engine lights or anything like that, which I'm pretty sure a full cold air intake would have caused a check engine light for the mass airflow table, which is at least what everybody was telling me. So I'm about to get to the spot right now and we'll do a 0 to 60 test and see if it's any better. Guys, here we go. So this is why we do tests. The car actually got slower, which is pretty interesting, but that could also be from the temperature because it is about 15 degrees hotter than before when I tested it. I mean, it could be a couple things, but my guess is it probably does flow better, but I bet that torque box helps. I mean, look, think about the name, torque box. It probably improves low end power, so it might have more power up top, which it definitely feels like it pulls harder up top, but it obviously lost power down low, so that's very interesting. I'm probably gonna leave it just because I already put it on and I don't feel like taking it back off, so I'm probably gonna leave it be how I have it right now. It does sound like pretty cool. It's definitely way louder, but this is one of them things, like, you know, I'd rather test it for you guys. This way you don't go do it for yourself. Clearly it actually hurt performance. If that is the case, but you know, I can't really get the same exact, you know, temperature and this and that, humidity and blah, blah, blah. But I guess the only way to really be able to figure out if it gained power or not is on a dyno, which I don't have. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry for my lack of videos. Thank you to all the new subscribers that are out there on my channel. I'm about 298 subscribers, so just before 300. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to make videos for you guys, continue to test things, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Bruh. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't want to go swimming.